Good afternoon, Democrats, and welcome to the Chair's Daily Live. I'm not the chair, but I'm just sitting in for a few minutes until she's able to join us. She's actually almost back to Tulsa from Oklahoma City, so she should be joining us in just a couple of moments. But anyway, happy Tuesday. I hope that you're doing well today. I hope that you're staying dry and warm after the warm weather we've had. Today seems particularly chilly. I wanted to mention that if by chance you have not yet seen the Oklahoma Democratic Party's response to the state of the state yesterday, I really hope that you will take a moment and watch that, because Alicia shared the real state of the state. And it's nothing like that pie in the sky thing that Stitt tried to convince us of yesterday. It was interesting seeing his parents and his family. His wife looked like she could not be bothered to be there. His father gave the same thumbs up to him that he gave to the whole crowd. So it was just kind of a weird experience. And then all the lies that fell from Stitt's mouth so easily. But you can always watch it at your leisure. Just go to okdemocrats.org/YouTube. And when you get there, you'll see our videos, and you'll have to click on the live button to go to yesterday's Chair's Daily Live. So I do hope that you'll take a moment and do that. I also want to thank everyone who tuned in last night to the Hamilton Report. We were super fortunate to have a very bright young educator. I was going to call him a teacher. He's more than that. He's more than an educator. Felix Linden joined us. And I hope that if you missed last night's broadcast, you can do it the same way. Just go to okdemocrats.org/YouTube, click on the live button, and you'll find it there. Well, there's a lot happening right now within the Oklahoma Democratic Party, and it's an exciting time. And I know that kind of seems odd given what's happening at the legislature and what's about to happen this year, but that's okay. We'll let them do their thing, and thankfully we have some very smart Democrats in the State House right now who are championing our goals, our ideals, and our ideas for both today and the future of Oklahoma. I hope that you will join me in thanking our legislators. We oftentimes encourage people to reach out and to call their legislators about certain topics that they're concerned about or that we collectively are concerned about. But I'm going to ask you to take a moment and reach out to a Democrat in either the House or the Senate or both. They don't even have to be your representatives, but just reach out, send them a text, or give their office a call and just say thank you for the work that you're doing on behalf of the people of Oklahoma, because that encourages them. And believe me, in that job, they need all the encouragement that they can get. Well, as you may or may not know, next week is an election. It's too late to get your absentee ballot for this election, but you can certainly vote in person. And there are elections literally all over the state on Tuesday the 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And perhaps the best Valentine's Day gift we can give each other is to get out and support Democrats. At the DNC meeting last week, I spoke to a woman who lost her election by 6 votes. She wasn't from Oklahoma, but we hear that kind of thing right here in our state, that a great candidate lost by just a handful of votes, particularly in things like school board elections, county elections. That's where we just don't get enough turnout. So I'm encouraging all of us to pledge to vote every time that we have an opportunity this year, because the more people we can elect in these municipal jobs, the greater the impact is. If you've been looking anywhere around the country, and it's starting to roll its way right through Oklahoma now, things like banning books. Um, in Florida, I heard one librarian say that in their school system, they have over 4 million books that have to be reviewed. And so far, there are like 1,133 that have been reviewed. So it's going to take someone decades to review those books. I'm simply saying that that is something for all of us to pay attention to, what's going on around the country, because our legislature certainly has a history of taking the worst things from other states and bringing them right home. Well, I'm happy to say that our chair has landed safely in Tulsa. I'm going to bring her on now. Alicia, we were just talking a little bit about the upcoming election next week and why it's so important for all of us to turn out and vote for those elections that in many ways have more consequences in our daily lives than a presidential election. So it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Just landed home. And that's true. We have an election 1 week from today, February 14th. And it's all over the state. It's the kind of elections that people, don't really pay attention to. It's a school board here. It's a city council here. It's a county clerk here. And people don't think that those offices affect their daily lives, but they do. The closer that a politician lives to where you impact they have on your life. So a school board district, I think it's like 40,000 people in a school board district. That's a smaller district. That person is likely shopping at the same grocery store, using the same gas station that you use. They care about the same kinds of things that you use. And so when you're thinking about, oh, it's just school board, or one of the people who I keep encountering who don't recognize the school board is an elected official. These are the kinds of races that this is where the CRT nonsense is coming from. It's coming from a school board level. It's where the let's ban books is coming from. Those conversations are happening at school boards. County clerk, those are the folks who are handling money. You need attention to those races. City council, those are the folks who are deciding how much money is spent on the roads. That road out in front of your house is determined at your city council. So president is a sexy office. Governor is a sexy office, and we need to pay attention to those. But we also need to pay attention to the entire ballot. We need to pay attention to all of the elected officials, because here's the thing. We don't think about them until they affect our lives. When you're driving down your street and you recognize all of a sudden you have those dumb speed bumps in the middle of your neighborhood, that happened at city council. Unless you live in an HOA district and that was your HOA, which is another place where you need to pay attention. We have to pay attention because politics affects us on all levels. So there's an election 1 week from today. This evening, the president, yesterday we heard the state of the state, which if I were Nancy Pelosi, my idol, if I were Nancy Pelosi, I would have taken his speech and ripped it ahead because it also was a tome to lies. It was just a statement. I was talking to somebody about it last night, and I was saying, he just got up there and said words. He didn't worry whether they were tethered to reality or not. He just got up there and said words. He ignored the fact that we are number 48 or 49, depending on which poll in education. We're number 51 in outcome for women. He has still to this day never acknowledged the lives that we lost to COVID. He just got up there and gave himself a big pat on the back. Now, if you would like to see someone give themselves a pat on the back, a well-deserved pat on the back, but who will talk about real issues that affect our daily lives, this evening, the president is State of the Union address. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, so you might as well watch it so you can know what I'm talking about. There's been a lot of things that the president has done, even though our state tends to vote more Republican. There's a lot of things that our president has done that has helped our state. One of the grants that governor bragged about yesterday in his speech, that money came from the Biden administration. The broadband money came from the Biden administration. The low-income housing grant that Tulsa got back in September came from the Biden administration. So there are a lot of things that they're doing at the White House, a lot of things that they're doing in this administration that is helping Oklahomans. And so I'm going to ask you, well, I have no idea. I haven't looked at the speech, haven't seen the preview of the speech, but we know that he's doing a good job. So I'm going to ask you to watch his speech, pay attention to what he says, And then I'll talk about it tomorrow. And I think interesting, and I hope there's some people who don't normally watch today. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to talk about that, but I think I'll take questions from the chat. Make it a little bit interactive. So join me tomorrow at 4:15 and I'll be on time. Tomorrow at 4:15 right here. You guys have a good night.